Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel that I have not really posted on this year. I'm trying to ramp it up a little bit. If you're new here for some reason, my name is Megan and I teach middle school. I've taught middle school history and English for like 14 years, and this is my 9th year of teaching at my current school, and we do something called Greek Day. So I've been talking about it for quite a while now, but I haven't really ever had a chance to like make a video showing you all the things that we do for Greek Day. This isn't something that I invented, like this existed at my school when I got here. We've probably like changed it a little bit as we've gone along, but we're kind of right in the middle of it right now. So I thought I would show you a little bit about what it is, and just to give you a little bit of context, we have 8 6th grade history classes, and so we're in California and 6th grade is ancient history. So throughout the year we've done like Mesopotamia and Egypt, China, India, and so now at this point in the year we're almost at the end. We're on ancient Greece. We'll do a couple days of ancient Rome right at the very end, but right now we're on Greece. I have 3 sections of 6th grade history. Another teacher has 3 sections and another teacher has 2. So that's 8 altogether. So my 3 classes are working on our stuff, and then the other teachers are helping their students with their stuff. And each class is a different city-state. So there's like Athens, Sparta, Corinth, Rhodes, you know, all these different ones. And then our Greek Day is on Thursday. Right now it's Monday. We've been working on our stuff for a little while. So on Thursday, all the 6th grade teachers, you know, the ones that do like English and math and everything, we all come together, and the entire day is, there's like no regular classes. It's all different Greek Day activities. So I'll show you what all of them are. It might take me a couple days to get through everything, but let me show you a few things. Okay, so here's my daily slide for today. We are working on our projects. So every class does a banner, a shield, and a chant. And sometimes there's just not quite enough work to go around. So I was playing Hercules. They could like watch the movie and color if they didn't have anything to do. And then this little poster for our Greek Day on Thursday. These are the different city-states. I have my tables set up in like 3 different sections. So this group was working on the banner. This looks great. Oh my gosh, they're so good. This one is for Corinth. Oh my goodness. So this is just butcher paper, and they drew all of this. This is incredible. We used to use more like paint. I would have them go outside and paint, but last year I got these like solid tempera paints, and they just use these. It's just a lot less messy. That was pretty worth it. And then I just have some books out for like art inspiration. This is my book. I didn't do the art, but I did all the writing. So I love the art in it. So this is just some good inspiration. These over here, I love this book, and the art is just incredible. So this is really cool if they're kind of stuck for like what they want to do on their poster or their banner, I mean. These are also really, really cool books, these like pop-up books. So again, very cool art and very good information as well. So they're using all those, and then this is just, I actually really like this map book. And I forget where Greece was in it, but the Greece page also had just like interesting ideas for what to draw. So having lots of inspiration out helps, I think. Since I have 3 different classes, they just kind of have some of their other stuff over there. It's kind of chaotic in here this week. Over here, they were working on a shield. This also looks really cool. I love this idea to like just cut out paper and use that instead of like the paint or whatever. So that's cool. I think this was a different group's stuff. Let me show you some more visual inspiration. These are just like mini pages from my book. It's all women. Females of Greek mythology, but we also have students dress up on Greek Day in a costume. So these are all pretty cool outfit inspiration. ideas. Another thing that I have just for students that, you know, there's like a couple kids, maybe like 5 working on the banner, right? But you can only really have so many kids doing that. And then there's a few working on the shield, a few working on a chant that we'll like say as we do our little march. I'll tell you more about that later. But then I also have some games over here for kids to play. This is like a little Parthenon puzzle. It's really hard. I lost the box, but I just put it in there. They could play this. This is a little Terracotta Warriors Rubik's Cube that I got at a museum. I got most of the stuff at museums. This is another game. So like this table over here can just be games just to keep people occupied while we get everything done that we need to get done. And then these goddess coloring pages, oh, they turned out so beautiful. There's some more that kids need to turn into. But these are the illustrations from my book, actually. So you can buy a coloring book version of it. And I just ripped all these pages out. I'm gonna put these up. Okay, so let me back up a little bit as far as like how we teach the students all of this stuff. So I mean, we just have our textbook for ancient Greece. We kind of like get started on that, and then they become an expert just in their one city-state. And so I just like created a document for each class period, so like each city-state, to do research on that city-state. And then I also have like a key for the teacher so that you can like make sure that they got everything that they needed to get, like all the most important information. So I've had this done for a while and I still have not put it up on Teachers by Teachers. I will. It's gonna be linked. It's gonna be linked. This is me like backing myself into a corner. I have to put it up. Let me show you what it looks like on my computer. Okay, so I created this last year just like for my colleagues to make it a little bit easier, and I will put all this up. So this is what every class has to do. They've got their Greek Day projects. Okay, so they've got to do their research using whatever textbook you have or online resources or like those different books that we have in the classroom. And they've got to do the research before they can choose which project team they want to be on. And so they've got banner, shield, and chant. You guys saw an example of the banner. You saw an example of the shield, and then the chant should be like catchy. I always tell them just like set it to a tune of a song that everybody already knows, and everybody has to learn it and memorize it. So it can't be super long, but that is really fun. So, okay. Those are just like the general instructions. And then I've got the different city-states. So like Argos, for example. So for all the city-states, they need to find the like the location, geography, what goods or services did they produce, any like monuments or buildings, because they can use this, you know, like on their banner and shield or whatever. So this is good stuff to know. Any like battles or something fought by the city-state, patron god or goddess, myths that take place here, famous people from there, other facts, and then they can jot down inspiration for ideas for these 3 different projects. And then once they're done with this, that's when they get to choose their project. And then, I mean, it's even hard for me to like keep track of which city-state is which and all that. So I have a key just for the teachers. And so they should have these types of things listed somewhere in their research. Like they probably want to have Hera on there, birthplace of Perseus, you know, things like that. So I have this for Argos, Athens, what else we have? Corinth, Delphi, Olympia, Rhodes, Sparta, and Thebes. And doing research for my most recent book really helped me with this because I was like just so deep in it and reading so much about ancient Greece. So that just kind of helped. I figured I would make all of this while it was fresh in my mind last year. And then I also have like the ebook version of my book that I give to the students, and I have a audiobook version, which is really, really good. The reader did an amazing job. So I play that sometimes because it gives us a lot of background information about a lot of these people and battles and all that kind of stuff. So we've been incorporating a lot of that. So it's been a little bit more fun recently because I just actually know a lot more about ancient Greece now than the first 7 years that I taught this, and I was like, I can't remember the difference between all the different city-states and all the different gods and goddesses and everything. A few other things that they really like are Epic the musical. They like listening to that. I love Hadestown the musical, so it's fun to incorporate music as you work, and then like plus it teaches you about the mythology. Tomorrow I'm going to tell you more about the stations. Let me go through a quick summary of the schedule. So on Thursday, kids will show up, they go to whatever class they have first. They are in a Greek day costume. I can also tell you more about that later. Oh, and they have t-shirts. Hold on. The planning for this is outrageous, you guys. Okay, so they're gonna wear a costume just for fun. Like they could literally just like wrap a sheet around themselves or whatever. But they also get a t-shirt. So every city-state is a different color. So one of my city-states is yellow. I think this is Corinth because it's like the gold coins and it has, you know, all their city-states on the back. Another one is blue. I think this is Rhodes, I'm pretty sure, because they're like an island, you know, so the ocean, the sea. And then I think this red one is Argos. So everybody got a t-shirt as well, so they'll just wear those t-shirts for most of the day, but then they can also like wrap a sheet around themselves or like a big white t-shirt and dress up as like a Greek citizen or a god or a goddess. And we have a costume contest for people who want to go like really all out, which is not everybody, but you know, some of them. So at the beginning of the day, all the different city-states go outside and they stand with their city-state. They have their banner, they have the shield, they're like getting ready with their chant, they're all dressed up looking all cute, and we do this thing called the March of the City-States, and they like march in with their banner, chanting their chant, and they go sit down in the auditorium. That's where we kind of like pump them up for the day, and they're being graded or like rated or whatever by all the teachers on their banner and their shield and their chant, and they're gonna get points or like coins if they were the winners of those categories. Then they're gonna go to different stations. I'll tell you about the stations tomorrow because I'm getting tired, but they have 10 different stations and they just choose 3. So they are like a representative of their city-state at the different stations that they choose. There's like Olympics and vases. I'm doing like an escape room thing that I have to set up. So they do those stations and then they come back into the auditorium. This is like after lunch by this time. Like this is many hours. Then they come back to the auditorium and we hire these people to come and like put on a production of the Odyssey. It's called Will & Co. if you're like in the LA area. And while they're being entertained by these amazing actors doing the Odyssey, we count up the points for everybody. Oh, and then like at the stations, it's always like a competition. So whichever representative of a city-state got first place, they get 3 coins, second place gets 2 coins, and third place gets 1 coin, and they're supposed to just like keep them for the rest of the day. So every teacher gets like this sack of coins that I put together, just like this. So this is kind of fun. They've got their little stack of coins that they can dole out throughout the stations, and I like put a couple extra in there if anybody's just like doing really good. They can just give them like a bonus coin. And then at the end of the station time, this is like after lunch, then the kids are gonna put their coins in their city-state's vase. I'm having some students make these vases, like decorate them. So these should be more done tomorrow. I'll show you them tomorrow. And then we'll have a winner based on like the points from the banner, shield, chant, stations, and just like overall sportsmanship and fun. Whew, okay, oh, this is a little dusty. Yeah. And then we have a trophy. One of my groups won it last year. Argos won it last year. And then like whatever teacher taught that city-state, they get to keep this in their room for the year. So it's really fun. It's a lot of work. I don't do everything. There's other people who are doing stuff too. And then there's, you know, 10 teachers all together that are like running stations and like coming up with stuff for their own stations, but it is like mostly run by the history department, I guess, because we're getting everything done in our classes. But then the English teachers are also doing like a lot of mythology and stuff. They just like save the mythology unit for right now, so it all kind of overlaps and goes together. Oh my gosh, did you guys get it?
We did. No, we can't do it.
Where are the other pieces?
I see the same, like anytime you guys are sad, I see like,
Ooh, that's beautiful.
You know what I'm saying? Very sad.
Ooh, so nice. Corinth, beautiful.
You can have it.
Oh, okay. Done today. The kids are working on their shields and the banners, started memorizing the chants. I am working on my station. So I'm doing an escape room. Someone is doing like Greek food, like they're gonna put together a little, I don't know. I never get to see the other stations because I'm always running mine, but someone's doing like an indoor Olympic Games thing, then there's an outdoor Olympic Games. There's boulder ball, which are like these huge balls you kind of play soccer with, kind of like Sisyphus, you know. There's like a Pythagoras challenge thing, there's trivia, there's bingo, so all of it is just like Greek themed. So there's 10 options and kids get to pick 3 and they rotate through. That's kind of like the hardest part to set up is everybody's schedule. I'm also working on slides just to have like behind me as I kind of like host the beginning of the event and kind of explain the schedule and the rules and just kind of like how things work. And I'm also getting some kids to come up and help me with that. We're gonna have a costume contest. Get that ready. I have some prizes, but my battery's about to die. I wanted to talk about this book that I just finished reading this morning called The White Pedestal, and like some things to just be cautious of when you're teaching ancient Greece and Rome, and how people, you know, will kind of like use the like propagandized version of that history to support kind of like white supremacist ideals. So let's talk about that. But my battery's gonna die. We'll talk about it. It's Wednesday. On Wednesdays, my prep is at the end of the day, so I've taught 6 classes in a row, and now I'm like, okay, let me take a look around here. So this was the last day that everybody had to work on their stuff. So we have our 3 banners just laying out here because the students are gonna come in the morning and pick them up, and then they like take them outside to start the March of the City-States. They're done with their shields. They practiced their chants today. They're supposed to like dress up as some kind of a Greek character tomorrow. We'll see if they do. Most of them figure out a way to do it. I have my costume all worked out, so I'll show you tomorrow. And then some kids just made these pots. I thought these were kind of cute. I like this as a place to put their coins. I handed out the coins and schedules and everything to all the teachers today. So yeah, I now just have to host everything tomorrow. And I enlisted 6 students to give some of the announcements and explain the schedule and stuff like that. So they should be ready, and I'm excited for the costume contest. That's always really cute. So anyway, fairly quickly, I was gonna say really quickly, but this might not be really quick, but I read that book, The White Pedestal. I'll put the cover of it right here. I listened to it on Hoopla. That was just like the fastest way to get it. I guess my library doesn't have like a physical copy. I kind of want to get a physical copy just because there's some stuff that I want to like look at, but it's really interesting. Hi, jumping in from the editing side really quickly. I was way too long-winded in that video, so let me just give you a quick summary. The book is very specific. It's a really specific topic. It's just about how white supremacists, like mostly in online forums or like writing for very conservative media outlets, use the propaganda of ancient Greek and ancient Roman history. And a lot of times in their usernames, they'll use like a Greek or Roman name, or their little avatar will be like a Greek or Roman art, like a statue or something. And so they really kind of worship this idea of like the Spartans, you know, who are all warriors and they live away from all the women, and you know, they fight for their land. And it ties back to the idea of democracy as well, and like when the United States was founded, and how many people were left out of democracy, just as they were in ancient Rome and ancient Greece. And then there's a whole section on like how people are really into the idea of like the fall of Rome. There's like a TikTok trend about, you know, this is my Roman Empire or whatever, and how people really like to kind of take the frame of the fall of ancient Rome and just put it really onto anything. But a lot of times it will incorporate ideas of like barbarians coming in, or you know, outsiders coming into your empire, and that's what causes it to crumble. So it's a really interesting book. It's again just like a very specific thing. This is not like you're gonna learn a ton about ancient Rome or ancient Greece through this book, but you do learn a little bit. But it's a little bit more like tracing what is currently happening or has been happening for just, you know, the past couple of decades, where people will use the kind of like validity of the history of ancient Greece or ancient Rome as like a Trojan horse, pun intended, to pass off these white supremacist ideas as a little bit more valid or mainstream. And then they also tend to infiltrate education under the guise of like classical education, and they're really not doing classical education. They're like classical Christian schools or classical charter schools, and they're really not doing that. It just means they're only going to read books by white men, and they don't believe in diversity, equity, and inclusion at all. So it's an interesting read. You know, I would recommend for teachers to read it. That's probably who it's most useful for. I liked it. So if you have read it or you plan to, just let me know. I would be curious to see what other people think about this, because I haven't heard of anyone else yet who's read it. So I was just kind of interested in it. So anyway, a lot of that stuff is fun. Yeah, I'm just gonna be a little bit more cautious and wary of how I teach these things in the future. And you know, like our, what do you call those things? Mascots are kind of dumb, but ours is the Spartans, because of course it is. And then like, we do a lot of activities for 6th grade history throughout the year, but the biggest one is Greek Day. And I've heard that it used to be Greek Week. It used to be even bigger. Yeah, we don't necessarily want to give like undue emphasis to just one civilization when we have all these other cool civilizations that we learn about this year as well. Okay, let me show you one thing before we go. This is all my stuff for my station. So every city-state has one. This is their escape room. I had to... Hi guys. Oh, the shields, yay. Okay, cool. They arrived just in time, thank you. Is it just one package? Yeah. Yeah, okay, cool, perfect. Okay, we got a package, some shields. These are like the different colors. These are the different steps in the escape room, and some things I had to laminate and like make little envelopes that have little pieces in them and stuff. So it's kind of, it was a lot of freaking work. I got this on Teachers Pay Teachers. I'll have to list it below. They're gonna unlock this box. This is like a breakout EDU thing, and I tried to make this like a breakout EDU thing, but it just ended up not working. I just had to do an escape room, which is slightly different, that I got from Teachers Pay Teachers, but I borrowed the boxes from the district office, so they'll like unlock it and get their coins inside here. So should be fun. And then this is just like how they write down the answers, like in their little clue book thing. So yeah, I'm like so done thinking about this. I am tired of talking about this now, but I will see you tomorrow in my Cleo outfit. I'm gonna be Cleo, the muse of history, because I am a muse of history. I wrote about Greek history, so I figured Cleo, the muse of history, would be the most appropriate. And just as a side note, can I just say that I'm glad that even though I hadn't even read that White Pedestal book before I wrote this one, the whole like purpose of this one was to flip a lot of these stories and mythologies on their heads and tell them from the female perspective. So I don't feel like this book reinforces any of the ancient Greek propaganda that white nationalists use anyway, because that was the opposite of our intention for this book even before I was aware of that. So it all worked out. So I'm gonna use this as my scroll because I forgot to make a scroll, so this will just be my history. Okay, see you guys tomorrow. Okay, here I am in my Cleo outfit. Muses have purple hair, so I had to do the purple wig, and then I got just like a couple things for like prizes for the other students. I don't have a class right now, but who like go all out for their costume. These are just like funny glasses. They're all like Greek themed. These little vases. Oh, these are cool little, oh, ooh, those are fun. Okay. Oh, okay. So these will be prizes. These are tattoos, little Greek temporary tattoos. So I think I'm just gonna save these for like my class because I need to cut them out. And then we need like some water, like a water on a paper towel. And then I haven't even opened this yet, but it's like a photo backdrop. So I'll get this set up. But anyway, we're about to start. We're about to get going. I don't know if I can really like film anything during Greek Day because I like host all of it, but I'll try to show a little bit more. But I really am loving like the purple hair. Like I could do this every day. My wig cap is a little tight. Might need to take some Tylenol preemptively, but fun. Woo. We are done. It was a very long day. It was a fun day. The stations turned out pretty good. There's some things that I would change next year, just mostly with like the resetting process, but now I'll know that for next year. The assemblies were good. The Will and Company, they do the Odyssey performance, and they work in a couple of students into it as well. That's like the best part. That was really, really good. All their hard work, all the kids' hard work is on display, so that's really fun to see, and just kind of like have them like come together as a class at the end of the year. There's only 2 more weeks of school left, and they're not even full weeks, so you know, just a handful of days. So this is a fun way to end the year. I have to go home and get out of this wig and get out of this dress and take my kids to like 4.5 hours of rehearsal tonight, because all of the recitals and performances and everything are coming up at the end of the year too. So on to the next thing. I'll try to link everything down below that I can think of. If I missed something, just ask me in the comments. I'll try to fix that. Yeah, all right. See you guys soon. Hopefully I'll try to do another video soon. All right, bye.